Hello friends, welcome to the course Learn Ethical Hacking from Entry to Expertise. In this class, we are going to learn terminologies or technical jargons that are widely used throughout this course and are very much needed to understand the concepts that I am teaching you in this course. So let us start with ethical hacking. Have you ever heard the word ethical Java or ethical Python, ethical Perl or ethical networking or ethical any technology? Why is the word ethical is appended to hacking? So before we learn ethical hacking, you must understand what hacking is. Hacking is something like this. I have this gun. I have ability to shoot my target. If I use the gun for offensive purposes, I would be a criminal and I would be put behind the bars. But what if the same gun I use for defensive purposes? Like if I'm a policeman or if I'm a military and I use this gun for defensive purposes, then I'm called as a security person and I'm using this gun for a defensive purposes. So hacking is similar to this gun. It is a skill set. If I use this gun for offensive purposes, it is not the fault of this gun. It is the fault of me using it for offensive purposes. Similarly, if I use the same gun for defensive purposes, it is again not fault of this gun, or it is not the credit of this gun. It is a credit of me using for defensive purposes. So hacking is similar to this gun as said. It is a skill set. Hacking is a skill set, and if you are using your skills for defensive and offensive purposes, the definition of hacking changes. For example, if you are using your skills for offensive purposes like hacking into someone's email account or hacking into someone's personal computer, or you are hacking a server or entire network itself, it means that you are doing some malicious activity with your skills. Then you are called as a cyber criminal in computing world or IT security world. But if you're using the same skills to protect your computer or your organization's computer or the entire network itself, or if you're using to secure an application from being attacked, then you're called as a cyber security professional. Now, on internet, you might find hacking as gaining unauthorized access to computer and network applications or a system itself. But why do you define it as unauthorized access? The access could be authorized also. Like my client may give me to test it, then I'm authorized to gain access to his network. So hacking is a skills to gain access to a target or a target of evolution. So let me explain it once again over here. Take this computer. This guy has ability or skills to hack this computer and gain access to this computer. And if he is gaining access to this computer with the permission, then this guy is called as ethical hack or a security professional. And if he is using the same skills to hack this computer or gain access to this computer without permission, then he is called a cyber criminal. So understand, hacking is ability, it is a skill set, or it is an art of exploiting computers. So why ethical hacking? In the past history, some hackers have used the skills to do some malicious activities like making international calls at a very cheaper rate or not even pay. And media has spread the negative connotation of hacking. To bring positive meaning or positive connotation to the word hacking, the word ethical hacking is emerged. Some trainers like me don't believe in this word ethical hacking. We feel ethical hacking is a meaningless word, only hacking is a skill. But still I have to teach you ethical hacking academically. So ethical hacking is a systematic or a standard procedure or a methodology to hack into a target that is given by your client to find the vulnerabilities or bugs in the applications or network devices or network infrastructure. So that's what ethical hacking is. So next, vulnerability. Vulnerability in English means state of being exposed to possible attacks, either emotionally or physically. So let me repeat. It is a state of being exposed to possible attack. So when you relate it to a cyber security, say for example the computer or a network has a vulnerability, it means that it is in a state and it could be encountered with a possible attacks. So vulnerability in cyber security can be defined as a weakness, flaw or a bug that could be exploited to gain access to the target machine, network or an application. There are different kinds of vulnerabilities. namely software vulnerabilities, hardware vulnerabilities, network vulnerabilities, physical and organizational vulnerabilities. Hardware vulnerabilities. Hardware vulnerabilities are vulnerabilities to hardware devices or equipments, like your external hard disk could be prone to dust and humidity, and that could corrupt your hard disk. And next, software vulnerability. Software vulnerabilities are related to applications installed on network devices like routers, switches, computers, mobiles, etc. Like as said earlier, if an application is outdated and has no updates, that could be a software vulnerability to that computer or a device. Similarly, if there is a flaw in the design of an application or insufficient testing has been conducted on the developed software, and that could be a software vulnerability, and it could be a threat to that device, and if the device in the network, it could be a threat to the entire network. So that is the software vulnerability. Next, network vulnerabilities. Network vulnerabilities are vulnerabilities that are existing in the entire network infrastructure, like insecure communication lines or fault network routes, old network devices, insecure network design or architecture could be the vulnerability to entire network. Next comes physical vulnerability. Physical vulnerabilities are due to unreliable power source or a weak physical security, due to which devices or equipments may get corrupted or stolen, thereby losing a valuable asset of a company. Physical and geological vulnerabilities are very important risk factors that are needed to be kept in notice to avoid or to mitigate these kinds of vulnerabilities. And finally, organizational vulnerabilities. Organizational vulnerabilities are due to lack of awareness on importance of the security. This could be also negligence in spending time and effort and money on implementing the security. And if implemented, there could be a poor security policies and audits that could be vulnerable to the entire organization. I hope you have understood what a vulnerability is. Target of evaluation. Are you feeling insecure with your company network or the computer that you are using to watch this video right now, or an application or a mobile? Then go ahead and test for it. So target of evaluation is nothing but a target, whether it is a network application or a device, that's need to be tested to find the vulnerabilities. Exploit. Exploit in English means taking advantage of a situation or a material in unfaithful or unaccepted manner. In cybersecurity, exploit or a computer exploit is nothing but it is an attack on the target system to gain access to the target network, application or a system. Exploit in IT security or cyber security also refers to a software code or chunk of data that takes advantage of a vulnerability to gain access to the target machine, network or application. Attack. What is an attack? Attack in cybersecurity can be defined as an event or an action that is performed or initiated or conducted against the target network or a system to challenge the security of the target or to compromise the target by exploiting the vulnerability that are existing in the target machine, network or a computer or an application itself. Say for example, there are so many kinds of attacks: password attacks, virus malware attacks, DOS attacks, email attacks. For example, if you are trying to get password of an email, it means that you are doing an email attack. Or if you are denying service of some application, like for a web application is providing me some information and you are stopping that information getting to the client, it is a DOS attack. So there are so many different kinds of attacks on internet that you are going to learn in this course. The next one is threat. What is a threat? Threat is a chance or a possibility of being attacked. In general scenario, now you have a computer. Computer has a vulnerability because the softwares in it are not upgraded since long time. So there is a vulnerability. It means that there is a chance that it could be attacked. It means that there is a threat to that computer. Now let us take a synopsis or a scenario to learn more about threat. In this scenario, this is a network. It has old servers and applications installed on it, and there are routers that are quite old devices. The firewall application license is expired and the hardware firewall is hard to maintain. because of a low skilled professionals. So many vulnerabilities in this network, right? Like old applications, old devices, no skilled professionals, zero audits, etc. Now this network is vulnerable and there is a chance that it could be attacked. How was that chance emerged? Because it is connected to internet, meaning the network is exposed to anyone over the internet. And why will be attacked? Because an efficient or a proficient hacker can find vulnerabilities in that network. Now because there is a chance that someone could attack, the threat has emerged or a threat is there to that network. And when someone takes advantage of this situation and performs action to gain access to the network, it is called attack. There is a small difference between threat and an attack. Threat is a chance or possibility of an attack due to condition or situation of the target. Condition means the state of being vulnerable, and attack is action performed against the target whose condition or which condition is vulnerable. There are three types of threats: cyber threats, geological threats, and physical threats. Geological threats and physical threats are due to factors like geological places where the network installation is placed and could be subjected to calamities like tsunamis and floods, and while physical threats are due to factors like fire accidents, etc. While cyber threats are threats from the cyber attacks that are made intentionally or unintentionally on the target systems. Cyber threats can be further divided into three types: network threats, host threats, and application threats. Network threats are threats from the attacks to the entire network infrastructure, while the host threats are threats from the attacks to a particular device like individual systems, servers, or applications itself. And application threats are related only to the applications, like applications installed on devices like computers, mobiles, or networking devices. Now, network threats. Network threats are cyber threats from cyber attacks, like different kinds of cyber attacks on entire network infrastructure itself, like your entire network topology, communication protocols, devices like routers and computers, workstations, etc., and applications installed on them. For example, your network information like topology could be exposed. Devices installed on your network can be exposed with their device information, MAC addresses, version numbers of the applications installed on them, etc. Someone sitting on your network could spy what is coming into your network and what is going out of your network, that is MITM attacks, and also could conduct session hijacking like attacks. Also, someone could launch DOS attack on your entire network so that the service you are providing to your client could be stopped. Now, host threats. Host threats are cyber threats from the attacks that are subjected or targeted only to particular device like an individual computer or a server or even a mobile, and the device could be part of network itself. For example, your friend might have left his laptop at your place and he has gone out for some work, and you as a hacker who don't have ethics might try to break the password of that computer to get some information of that computer, and after successful attack and getting password of that computer, you might create an account and escalate your privileges from user account to an admin account, or you might have installed a backdoor on it. Whatever the attack you are conducting, you will be conducting on that host itself, even though that computer is part of network, like if it is connected to internet, it is a part of internet network, but still you are targeting to a single host. Now, application threats. Application threats are cyber threats where there is a threat from cyber attacks on particular installed applications only. Not a host, but the applications that are installed on a host. Like for example, I am recording this video with XYZ software and assume that I am using a trial version. What if I liked this software and want to extend the trial version, or I don't want to buy this software and I want to reverse engineer to find the key and break the software security to use the full features and functionality of the software? It means that I am targeting to the application itself. I can also conduct a buffer overflow attack on this application. So application threats are threats that are related to the only application but not the host on which the application is installed, and even host could be a part of internet network itself. Here are the examples of few application threats like improper data or input validation on a form fields, or a security misconfigurations, information disclosure, reverse engineering, buffer overflow, and when it comes to web applications, SQL injections can be a threat to form fields or input form fields, and of course cryptographic attacks. Security. Security in cybersecurity domain or IT security domain can be defined as implementing security policies or implementing certain strategies or taking measures to defend potential attacks or threats in order to protect your digital assets. Security in simple terms is taking a preventive measures in order to protect your network infrastructure or a digital assets from different kind of attack vectors, whether the attacks are network level attacks, host level attacks, or even application level attacks. So it is simply implementing certain policies or taking measures in order to protect your digital assets. Policy. Policy is a statement, paragraph, or a document that defines values, certain values and responsibilities in order to protect digital assets or organizational assets. And security policy can be defined as a framework in which needed levels of security are defined that are implemented at various levels in order to protect your organization. We shall look more about security in the next module, where we define about data security and IT security. Coming up next is DID or defense in depth. What is defense in depth? Defense in depth is a multi-layer security model, or it is an approach where you implement security mechanisms, policies, or practices at different layers. So if an attacker could successfully bypass security at one level, he can be stopped, or the attacks can be mitigated at another layer or later layers. So defense in depth is a multi-layered mechanism or is an approach with different security policies or different security practices in order to improve the security and in order to protect the vital information from being subjected to potential attacks. So here in the below image, attacker is attacking a network with different kinds of attacks like web attacks, network attacks, DOS attacks, spoofing, phishing, email attacks, and there are a number of attacks which are not mentioned here. But this network can be secured by implementing DID, that is defense in depth, at various levels like at firewall, routers, switches, machines, and at Wi-Fi router with WPA2 password and so on. So here in the image, just to show you, there are three levels of security, at one at firewall, one at the router, and another at the another router. So this is how defense in depth is implemented in a network. Now in this slide you can see how defense in depth is implemented at each levels. In this picture I have shown you 6 levels. So in the level 6 you can see policies, procedures and awareness. Here security strategies like data classifications, awareness programs, usage policies can be implemented, and at physical layers, fences, walls, guards, biometrics, iris scanners, access cards, ID cards, etc. can be implemented. Then at an internal network, a transport layer security is implemented in general like encryption and identity, etc. And at host level you have seen host threats and host vulnerabilities. So at host level you can implement password protection, malware, antiviruses, firewall applications, and you can patch your operating systems with different vulnerability management patches. Application. At application you can do or you can implement strategies like authentication, authorization, code practices like code validation, and application layer securities strategies can be implemented. And at data level you can implement strategies like database security, online storage and backups, content security, information rights management, message or data encryption, etc. Breach. You must have heard this word breach in many Hollywood movies, like we have a security breach. Yes, it is the same technical word, either breach or called as a security breach. So breach or a security breach can be defined as a successful attack by an attacker or intruder. So what is successful attack? So successful attack, it means that attacker or intruder has compromised your systems or network by bypassing all security measures that you have implemented and now he is residing in your network, or he is accessing your network or a system remotely from a remote location. Hacktivism. Hacktivism is hacking for a cause. Hacktivism can be defined as using of technology like computing skills or a hacking skills to promote agenda. Like agenda could be a social agenda, political agenda, or could be a religious agenda, or could be any other views or thoughts. So basically hackers or a persons or individuals who have abilities to hack and to promote agenda is called as hacktivism, and such persons are called as a hacktivists. Next, intrusion. Intrusion is nothing but gaining access to a target computer network or application in unethical way, and the person who does this activity are called as intruders. Intruder is another synonym for a hacker, attacker, or a cracker. Cracker, as per RFC 1392, can be defined as an individual who hacks into a target network, computer, or application without having a proper permission or a legal permission from a owner of the target that you are hacking into. Basically, crackers or intruders or attackers hacks into a target with a malicious intentions. It means that the intentions could be a making loss to the target you are targeting, the intruder is targeting, or gain some financial benefits or financial gains, or to defame the company, or could be any other motives. Basically, the motives or the intentions are malicious, and such persons are called as intruders, crackers, or attackers. And crackers sometimes can be defined as a persons who cracks into an applications like password crackers or a software crackers, etc. Welcome back. Types of hackers. So you now know who a hacker is. Hacker is a person who can gain access to our target machines, but there should be a motive for his actions to attack or to hack into our target machines. If the motives are good motives and if intentions are good intentions, that guy is called as a good guy. If his intentions are malicious, bad, then he's a bad guy or a bad hacker. So based on his motives or his intentions, hackers are classified. Hackers are basically classified into three types: black hat, white hat, and a grey hat. There are some other types like red hat, blue hat, green hat. So how does this hat or colored hat like white hat, black hat are derived? They are derived from old vintage Hollywood movies, especially cowboy movies where cowboys wear a hat. A white hat is worn by good guys or good cowboys, and bad cowboys or villains, they have black hats on their heads. So that way these terms are derived. So let's start discussing types of hackers. White hat hackers. White hat hackers are basically good guys. They are certified hackers. They work for governments, organization. They do a vulnerability assessment, finding bugs, loopholes in the target networks or applications, and exploit them with permission. So they have a proper permission. They are authorized to hack into a target machine that they have given. So basically white hat hackers are a good guys. Then where there is a good, there is a bad. So black hat hackers. Black hat hackers are hackers with malicious intentions. They hack into a target machines without any authorization. It means that they hack into a target machines, networks, or applications with malicious intentions. Intentions could be financial gains, like they hack into banks, steal credit card information, or organizations to steal sensitive information. So these guys are malicious guys or danger guys. They have a pure malicious intentions behind their hacks. Then comes grey hat. They are the blend or mixture of both black and white hat hackers. These guys are hackers who hack into a target machines without any authorization or without any permission to hack into a target machines. But they do not have any malicious intentions. By hacking into a target machine or finding bugs or loopholes in the target machine, they approach or contact with the owner of the hacked machines, show them the proofs of their hacks. So ask them for small amounts, small fees or bounties, like in few hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. So basically grey hat hackers are hackers with no permission and with no malicious intentions. Then comes script kidding. These guys don't care about their hacks. They hack into a target machines with the tools downloaded from internet or tools that are made by some other persons or organization. They don't know the impact of that attack or tool, and sometimes they keep themselves in danger by performing attacks on a target machines that they chose to attack or that they chose to hack. And finally, they may end up in jail if caught. So script kiddies are hackers who don't have a proper knowledge on the tool they are using. They just keep attack. They flood the network like with the DOSing or DOS attacks, etc. Next, phreaker. Phreaker are considered to be high-skill hackers. They hack into our telephone networks to make free international calls or distance calls. In 1980s, these guys hacked into our telephone networks, and media has given a special focus or special attention on them, and because of their hacking into a telephone network for making of free calls, they are considered as criminals, and that is the reason hacking or hacker are considered to be illegal, and hence negative connotation to the hacking has raised. This is the reason why the word or term ethical hacking has emerged. The word phreaker is derived or created from freak plus telephone or freak plus phone, where freak is freaking you, or freak could be a frequency also because it is related to a telephony network. So frequency plus phone or freak plus phone. So that's how word phreaker has emerged, and phreakers are hackers who hack into telephone networks. Next comes noobs. Noobs are sometimes called as neophytes. These are the guys or individuals who have no knowledge or complete zero knowledge on hacking and are considered to be entry level of hackers. They do a lot of research or they learn from internet, YouTube or other platforms like forums. They keep posting so much questions to hackers. So basically noobs are entry level hackers. And then comes red hat hackers. Red hat hackers are vigilant hackers. They're also sometimes called as eagle eye hackers, and they are self-appointed hackers who hack or hunt down a black hat hackers. A vigilant means a self-appointed who undertake law enforcement into their hands without any legal authority by considering legal agencies to be inadequate or incapable. So these guys are vigilant hackers. They hunt down black hat hackers or cyber criminals. They're very rigorous, they're aggressive. They use the black hat hacking technologies and hunt them with their own arsenals. So the primary motive of these red hat hackers is vigilant justice. They use malware, DOS attacks, trojans to destroy the mission of black hat hackers. They are sometimes considered as white hat hackers, but they are mostly very aggressive. Next comes bounty hunters. Bounty hunters are hackers who just find vulnerabilities in the target machines, and sometimes they exploit the target in which they have found the vulnerability and report to the owner for some bounties or prize monies. Next, cyber terrorists. Cyber terrorists are hackers, individuals or groups who work for a terrorism or a terrorist organization. They primarily hack into target machines to exfiltrate data from mostly government agencies or government targets. They are sometimes referred to as hacktivists. Now, elite hackers. Elite hacker is a term which is considered as a status of high-skilled hackers who have cutting-edge skills in the field of hacking. They are considered genius in this field of penetration testing, and they are real hackers or real penetration testers who can create their own tools or scripts for hacking, and sometimes they are considered as innovators in the field of hacking or penetration testing. There are some other types of hackers like whistleblowers, nation or state sponsored hackers, blue hat hackers, etc. I wish you to make some research on these types of hackers so that you can start practicing research on the topics that I deliver you throughout this course. So let's go to the next slide. Welcome back, guys. This is the last class of module Terminologies. So let us start with term dumpster diving. Have you ever wrote your password on a sticky notes, or have you ever noted some important information that should not be leaked out to a friends, family or a public on a piece of paper and kept on your desk or within a desk? Have you ever had some papers or valuable papers that has some potential information that could lead to a cyber attack, and you have just kept it on your table, and later after the use of that information or that files, have you ever thrown or disposed those papers in dustbins? Those dustbins or those trash cans will be searched, and those papers will be stolen by attackers, so that the information within that papers or sticky notes or files could lead to a cyber attack. Dumpster diving is a form of cyber attack where attacker searches for information or valuable information that could assist in performing cyber attacks, either performing vulnerability assessments or cyber attacks itself. So these cyber criminals or attackers search for papers, sticky notes or another materials which has informations in dustbins, trash cans or even office premises for certain papers, and they take it to their place and read out or enumerate all the information that is available in those papers that could assist them in performing a cyber attack. So dumpster diving is simply a form of cyber attack where attacker searches for valuable information in trash cans or dustbins or office premises. In corporate organization, to mitigate dumpster diving attack, they use something called as a paper shredders. You can see over here, it is a paper shredder that cuts the paper into small chunk of pieces so that they could be disposed easily. Then comes data driven attack. So what is a data driven attack? Data driven is a form of a cyber attack where attacker embeds a malicious code into a legitimate looking or a genuine looking code or a software. Like a Trojan horse is an example. So data driven attack is a form of a cyber attack where attacker embeds malicious code in innocuous looking, means a safe or not harmful looking software application or a script. Now salami attack. What is a salami attack? In the childhood, you might have remembered that you have collected coins of your respected country currencies and you have stored in a kiddie bank. And one day finally when you see that after the kiddie bank is full, and when you count that, that could lead to a bigger amount of your currency, like $100 or $200 or $500. It means that you have your coins collected together to a larger amount. Salami attack is similar to this kind of a scenario, where a small or a minor attacks could lead to a major attack. The attacks could be intentional or accidental, that is irrelevant, but all minor attacks could lead to a dangerous and highly impactable a larger attack. For example, an attacker has compromised a banking application. Now he can actually withdraw a large amount and he can fled away. But what he did is, in order not to detect or not to caught himself, he has taken small amounts from each bank account. For example, he has withdrawn $1 from 50,000 bank accounts and transferred to his account. That his account could be a fake account. But what he did was, he withdraw or transferred a 99 cents or a $1 from a 50,000 bank accounts. Now eventually this small cents has collected to a $50,000, which is a very big amount to that attacker. So salami attack or a salami slicing is a form of a cyber attack where small or a minor attacks could lead to a potential major attack. Now a red team. What is a red team? Red team is a group of individuals, freelance individuals or a part of organization who conduct full scope of penetration testing right from the physical level to a application level. Like this team conducts penetration testing on humans, like to find out how employees of that organization are vulnerable to that company itself. Like an attacker could conduct a social engineering attack where he calls a receptionist, and on his social engineering he may get or he may extract some valuable information from that receptionist that could be helpful in conducting a future attacks. So red team will conduct such social engineering attacks on the employees on finding how vulnerable they are to the company. And also they conduct physical penetration testing, like how this building is vulnerable to the organization. What are the loopholes an attacker could physically enter into the building with a fake cards or through the windows, etc. and after that they could conduct a penetration testing on the entire network itself, then computers, devices, application, and this red team will provide a full report of all the potential vulnerabilities right from the physical to the application level. And they also train the employees or the organization to mitigate from such future attacks. So red team is a group of individuals or a part of organization who conduct full scope of a penetration testing and thereby conduct an educational or a training program to avoid such kind of attacks in future. Next, backdoor. So what is a backdoor? Backdoor is a hidden entry for an attacker onto a compromised system or on a compromised system. You know, burglars who want to steal valuables from a target house won't go to the house from the front door or a main door, but rather they search a backdoor entry so that they can get into the house or inside the house. This is a covert approach. Similarly, in computing world, hackers install backdoor applications or files on a compromised computers so that they can manage the hacked computer or compromised computer remotely. Backdoors remain hidden on target machines. Only attacker can know the path of the backdoor application or the file. Backdoors can be a login pages or backdoors can be a client server applications, and there are some legal backdoors. Yes, legal backdoors. These are the backdoors that are installed by the manufacturers of some devices so that they can remotely troubleshoot those devices in case of any problems, like resetting passwords. Next, zombie. What is a zombie? Zombie can be defined as a hacked computer which is part of a network or internet. A hacked computer or a compromised computer that is being controlled remotely by an attacker, since it is a part of an internet, is a zombie. Zombies are mostly used for malicious activities like spamming, email spamming or advertisements, or even cyber attacks like DOS attacks, like denial of service or distributed denial of service attack. So zombie can be simply defined as hacked computer which is part of an internet or internetwork. Then comes payload. What is a payload? Payload in telecommunications world or a computing world is a part of a data transmission that is intended message like a metadata or headers, and it enables a payload delivery. When it comes to IT security, payload can be defined as part of an attack or precisely a component of attack like viruses, worms, trojans, or any other malicious code or script which when triggered or activated will either compromise the computer or even like create a backdoor to the attacker. Next, zero-day attack. So what is zero-day attack? 0 day plus attack or 0-day attack. So you know what is an attack. Attack is an action to compromise a target computer or network. But what is a 0 day? A 0 day is simply defined as a newly discovered vulnerability. So if you are using a newly discovered vulnerability for an attack, it is a 0-day attack. Let me explain you more detail. Any vulnerability that is not made public or not available publicly, and you might have discovered it and you are using that vulnerability to exploit a target machine or to compromise a target machine, that is a 0-day attack. It means that that vulnerability has not been mitigated or patched and it is completely new and is not or never known to a general public. So 0-day attack is an attack in which a newly discovered vulnerability which is not known to general public is used to compromise a target computer, machine or a network. Next, logic bomb. What is a logic bomb? Logic bomb is a malicious script or a code that is hidden in an application or a program, and it triggers its malicious function or triggers or activates a malicious activity or that is written by the attacker only when certain conditions are met. As you know, viruses, worms, trojans or malicious scripts or codes that are hidden in a programs or applications or files and that are used to attack your targets, either for compromising the target or for bypassing the control filters like access control filters. They get activated or triggered once they have reached the target systems or to bypass the target system's security policy. But logic bomb is very nearly similar to that malicious scripts or hidden malicious scripts. But logic bomb gets activated only when certain conditions are met. Like for example, if VLC player is playing a video for about 20 minutes, then trigger to close antivirus program. Like I said, if a VLC player or any other media player or a PDF file is open for a certain period of time, do this activity, do this malicious activity. Or if system is idle for 10 minutes, activate the backdoor. So as said, logic bomb can be defined as a malicious script hidden intentionally in an application that will trigger or get activated only if certain conditions are met. There is a variant of a logic bomb called as a time bomb. Time bomb is very similar to a logic bomb, but malicious function or malicious activity of a time bomb is triggered based on the host machine or compromised machines or targets machines date and time. It means that I have given you some updated version of a game, or say for example I have given you a file which has a logic bomb in it, and you are using that file, you have opened that file, but nothing will happen. No activity or no malicious activity will be activated on your machine. It will activate only if I have triggered to configure that the logic bomb should be activated on, say for example, December 31st, 2020 at 9 PM IST. Only on that day, on that time, the malicious activity or the malicious function of that hidden script, which is called as a time bomb, will get triggered. Coming up next is a bot. What is a bot? Bot is simply a compromised computer or a hacked computer that is remotely controlled by an attacker. It is simply like a zombie. Then what is a botnet? Botnet is a network of bots, like network of hacked computers. Basically, botnet is network of hacked computers used for malicious activities like sending spam mails or advertisements, or using denial of service attacks, distributed denial of service attacks, etc. So bot is controlled by an attacker, or entire bot network or botnet is controlled by an attacker using CNC software, that is command and control software. So the compromised computer or a bot could be your computer, smartphone, even IoT devices could be a part of a bot network. That means a compromised IoT device, which is a single bot, can be a part of a network that is a bot network, is a botnet. Saying so, we have completed the terminologies module, that is module 1 or the chapter 1. We have not yet completed all the terminologies. Some of the terminologies are explained in the relative chapters, so that you can or you will understand it more clearly when the relevant chapter is started and explained to you.